Now you said the Most High gave His word to everybody, right?
That bond is you living out right now. That bond is why you at the bus stop right now.
You understand? The scripture says, any man speak, let him speak of the oracles of God. They think the law is a small thing. Separate, man. We are separate from these other nations, man. That's right.
Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. But before then, Thursday, it's going down at the Durham Armory, our annual all-black party. Last year was also the Hebrew Academy graduation dinner. This year, Commander General Yohana got something special for y'all. It is going down. What's happening? A full-blown Hebrew concert featuring Shar, UPK Natazal, Kwarak Ice. This is not something you want to miss. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time, sending curses to them enemies.
ISUPK presents the 54th annual Feast of Unleavened Bread. Last year we did it big. This year is going to be way big. More brotherhood, more sisterhood, more UPK. On Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, we're going to be at 421 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Sheraton Raleigh Hotel Ballroom. We're calling all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come join us.
To your third eye, peephole, line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch is cheap.
Remember, admission to the Passover is $200 per adult. That's $200 per adult. For more information, call 919-697-8257. Call 919-697-8257.
pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like steps and I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Keep Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. And circle up and stay alert. Another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, it's the exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with ya. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers can they spin, I ain't listening. Is it effective? If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jacob. That's how I walk, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. As you run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't just do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life city for my niggas, pray you understand it. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young guy. How you real triggered on the dot? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold nigga? When he said something, I ain't hear him. This shit like work on who got this gun. It's on who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Three soldiers from the dead. This wakes up the chain. Three shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and treat you. You'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%. I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him. Just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter. God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, just laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow side. Yeah, this the river court. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' stop, they call it Elroy. Fuck his gang, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put billions of my access. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. trying to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And singing shots off like farewell. Praying payback, come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words, ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback to bitch in the dress, she a bombshell. Just dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mass shooters. Devils design 5 for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yishah Barakatah, Israel. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Adatah by Shem Yishah to the sisters. Once again, I'm Officer of 1,000 Awadya, ISUPK Detroit, under Commander General Yohana. Again, this is the law class. Okay. Again, under Commander General Yohana, who again, as I always like to point out, man, he been doing this since the 80s. The school been around since the 60s. And General Yohana never, ever, ever, for 1 second, thought about dropping his sword, man. He held on to this truth, which allowed brothers like myself and other brothers to come into this truth, man. Which I'm grateful for that, man, because it's nothing better than serving the Lord. So, like, if y'all give me 1 second, I just have to double check, make sure my sound is good, and y'all do y'all part by liking and sharing the class. Okay, my volume is to wide. And again, of course, as usual, if y'all have any questions or comments, just drop it in the comment section, and I'll get to them as I see them. Okay. Everybody, today we're gonna be starting off in the book of Romans in the 1st chapter. But before I actually get to the scriptures, I just wanted to touch on, like I was saying earlier, Commander General Yohana holding on to this truth, man, and really it's really just an honor. If you ain't put on all black yet and got into school and started serving the Lord, let me tell you, man, it's an honor. It's an honor to do such a thing. It's an honor and a privilege. Okay? Get in all black, man, especially in the times that we seeing now today. You know, it's almost everybody know it that Russia and China is together. But once they come out openly with it, then supposedly it mean more than when really to us it's just like the very same thing. But you know, in the world we live in, they use wordplay a lot, so it hasn't been official till they actually say it. But you know, they've always been together. It's not nothing new or anything of that nature. When it comes to what's going on with Ukraine and things of that nature, no different than the U.S. helping Ukraine and supplying them with weapons. Okay, it's no different than that. All right. So I can give me 1 second. Let me get to here. Kind of, do you think? Let me get right here with y'all. So yeah, as we I guess we close. I would say we're closing out this so-called Black History Month, which I don't even know or understand why do we celebrate this day? It's like the most ridiculous nonsense I ever heard in my life. Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I don't even understand why we celebrate this thing. What does it do for black people? They teach us to celebrate a dude, Martin Luther King, which really, what did he do? He made a speech. That's the one thing y'all remember him for, I Have a Dream speech. What good was that for black people? What did it do for us? I don't understand why we celebrate this. We should never, we have to stop being fooled and tricked by our oppressor, man. This is no different than Juneteenth to me. The hell we celebrate? What is it? It means absolutely nothing for us, man. It does nothing for us, and it means nothing for us. The oppressor just know y'all like to party, know we love to party, and he just give us a day, give us times where we can just have a good time with one another. As long as he's in control of how we have a good time. Okay? With that being said, we got Romans 1:25. And it reads, who changed the truth of God into a lie? Changed the truth of God into a lie, man. Now, really, just based off that one little area, we probably could do a 3-hour class of everything of everything of the Most High that's been changed into a lie. Okay? Because what? This kingdom is set up for what? You to worship your oppressor. It's not set up. It's not set up so you can be obedient to the Most High. How do we know things like that to be true? How do we know absolutely, positively that is true? What is the thing that we have coming up? Easter. We have Easter coming up. Is Easter of the Most High, or is Easter of the oppressor? Now, they'll try to sprinkle the Most High in there to make it look as if they'll tell you it's Resurrection Sunday. That's what the Christians call it. They call it Resurrection Sunday, when Christ died and he resurrected on Sunday. But Christ never said do any of the stuff that they do. So how can the Most High never said do any of the stuff they do? So how can I be of them when they in disagreement with what actually takes place and what actually goes on? So you can't be in disagreement. The Most High can't be against it and it be of him at the same time. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Okay, and yet and still, because of failed leadership and because of poor leadership and our leadership wanting to do what? Join with the oppressor. This is what happens when you want to join with the oppressor versus separating from the oppressor. You begin to do what? You begin to worship your oppressor. And you begin to worship the things that he worships. Because what? In following the people who oppress you like this, you do what? You lose yourself. You begin to lose yourself. You begin to forget everything about you. Okay? You begin to forget everything about yourself. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure my camera looking right. I think I look too wild. It's just cutting my hair off, right? Okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, you begin to do what? You begin to lose yourself. You begin to let go of everything of you. We didn't, how in the hell was joining the oppressor to work for him a good idea? When we built Black Wall Street, we've never needed them. They've always needed us. We've never needed them for anything. They've always needed us. And they needed us, why? Because they understood we can build this kingdom up for them. See, this is the thing. An oppressor will never, a slave master will never want to let their slaves go. Okay? Now, if we go and we start building our own things, what will happen? Eventually, we'll do what? We'll rise above them, because you know at one point while we was thriving in Black Wall Street, they were suffering and unemployed and searching for jobs, and their economy was crumbling. While we were thriving in the midst of them. We were thriving in the midst of them. They looked at us and saw us thriving. You know, Black Wall Street had one of the first airstrips in the United States. I don't believe it was the first, but I know it was one of the first for sure. Okay? We never needed them. We didn't need things like civil rights and all that kind of nonsense to join together. It was the worst ideas in history. But you have to understand, we followed leadership. Our leadership didn't come up with the idea of civil rights. Your oppressor came up with the idea of civil rights and mapped it out, the strategy of how it was going to work. And then he used the leaders at that time to push it. That's why they ain't do nothing but make speeches. You see what I mean? They ain't did nothing but make speeches, and that was it, to rally the troops to get behind this, which destroyed black people versus actually helped them. And how do we know that's true? You could just walk outside your house today. Look up and down the street. You don't gotta go far. You ain't gotta Google nothing. You don't have to research anything. You can just walk outside and look at your neighborhood. It's that simple. And if your neighborhood, if you say, nah, that's just my neighborhood, go to your cousin neighborhood, go to your brother neighborhood, go to your friend neighborhood, it all looks the same. it looks no different. That is the result of civil rights and joining together. So that's our result from that. And Black Wall Street is our example of separation. That's the example of what we do when we do not join together with the oppressor. That's the example of what happened. So who turned the truth of the Most High into a lie? Our leadership destroyed us, man. Having us join together with someone who hate. Think about this, the psychology behind joining together with someone who hates you. You joining together with a people who at the time had the power to just murder you. Well, I can't even say at the time, because it's still happening today. They just murder you and get away with it. It's just no big deal. It's no different. It's like a piece of lint on their clothing. Just pull it off their clothing and throw it down. That's how they murder us, man. And joining together with them was a great idea. Never in the history of the world was such a thing, a great idea. Never. But you got to understand, joining together with them, it wasn't about a benefit to us. It's about a benefit to them. Because they in control of everything now because of that. It would have been okay if they was running into our restaurants and things of that nature. They wasn't doing that. We was shutting our restaurants down to go eat at their restaurants. They just enslaved us in a different manner, man. They just enslaved us in a different manner. And we thought it was the best thing smoking. Just ridiculousness, man. And even though we got tricked then, now is a great opportunity, especially now you got the truth everywhere. You see UPK everywhere. Go ahead, Rocky. You got the mic.
Sorry, just to piggyback on what you're saying is so heavy. I was just saying the scripture I pulled in Timothy 4:1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressively that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils."
That's an excellent scripture on what I'm talking about right now. Because that's exactly what happened. They gave heed to seducing spirits. That's somebody at the door or something? What the fuck? What's that? That's just ice. Yeah, they gave in to seducing spirits. Like we call him Orgy Mike. He was chasing the oppressor women. Right. He was being seduced by that. He like, man, listen, we need to join together. He was joining together for real. He wasn't playing around. He like, we need to join together with this, man. Can y'all believe this? Y'all missing out on this? Playing in that snow. Man, playing in the snow for real. Well, nah, man. We should have left them alone. He didn't think about us. And the oppressor looked at him and said, man, I got one. I got one right here. You understand? And use him and everybody that followed him to do what? To push togetherness. When the Lord said what? He wanted us separate from everybody else. He said, man, you got to turn the other cheek. How you turn the other cheek from somebody when you being murdered? Right. Ain't no turn. You have to get away from people that's murdering you. Somebody coming to murder you, you fight your murderer off. You defend your, you know what I mean? You get away from the people that's harming you. Again, that's what make that, that's how you know civil rights and things like that, that was not for us. That was for your oppressor. That's how you know we didn't have any say-so or set up in that. They went down and sat at the table and they said, this is what we're going to do. And they said, that's a great idea. I can have all the white women in the world. Oh, so like I can have all the oppressor women in the world. And they went for it. And they went for it. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Oh, it's like God, dog. Who changed the truth of God into a lie, man? The Most High wanted us separated from them, man. And they lust. And they lust. And in they lust, they destroyed us as a people. Because they wanted to sleep with oppressor women. Think of the millions and millions of black people we destroyed. That's the reason we strung out on drugs today. That's the reason why there's no black men in the homes today. Our families are destroyed. And it's getting worse and worse and worse, man. These women, it done got so bad, man. It done got so bad that brothers is getting passports and going to other countries to find women.
Ooh, right.
It done got so bad. Like, they going to other countries to find women, and there's millions of single black women right here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's so heavy what you're saying is they can get the passport and go to the other countries and they still getting used.
They still getting used. It's crazy. It's a little to them. It's just a little more subtle.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a little more subtle. It just don't seem like it. Like I met a brother, right? He said he go to Colombia every other month. What in the hell do he think they doing when he not there? You know what I mean? He think they just sitting there waiting on him? The hell nah. No. But it's hard because a lot of black women feel like a man's supposed to pay their bills, and a man's supposed to do everything, and she don't have to do nothing. And she feel like she don't have to do nothing, and that's from listening to dumb, stupid other women. They listen to the women on the internet. They don't understand that the internet is not real. It's not real. It's not real. Carly B said, don't pay no bills, and don't do no cleaning or no cooking. It was photos everywhere of her cleaning and cooking. Photos everywhere. She got broom, a dustpan, and a bandana on her head. Cleaning like ain't no tomorrow. Because no man don't want no woman like that in real life. And he at work trying to work and pay all the bills. She's sleeping with every brother on the block. No man don't want to put up with that garbage, man. And that's why it's so hard, man. We so destroyed, man. We don't understand. A woman has been tricked out of her position.
If I could, sir, just to piggyback on what you're saying, Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitfully above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
And desperately wicked, and who can know it, man? Who can know it? Your heart is deceitful, your mind, your thoughts. I'm gonna get this nigga for whatever I can, and then that's all a lot of younger women think about is what they can get from a brother. That's it. And so many brothers they halfway like them, and they just feel like, man, okay, the only thing you gonna get from me is this ride. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's about all you gonna get from me. And so what it do? It keeps us doing what? Constantly battling with one another. So if we constantly battling one another, then what? How do we come together and build families? We can't. It's an excellent, people don't understand that's an excellent strategy by your oppressor. It's an excellent strategy. Because what is the one thing? He don't want to see us build our families. Because if we do that, the most important thing to us won't be the new Jordans that's coming out. Right. You see what I'm saying? That won't be the most important thing. The most important thing to a woman won't be when am I gonna get my lashes done? We'll have family. We'll have structure. Then our mindsets will start changing, and the way we think will start changing. Then guess what? Our actions will start changing. Our behavior will start changing. The things that actually matter, we'll start paying more attention to. I remember I used to be in the world, man, and a lot of brothers I used to be around, the first thing when they waked up, they didn't care about food and figuring out something. The first thing they wanted to do and had to do was get high. They didn't care about nothing else whatsoever. The first thing they had to do was get high, man. That was it. That was the only thing on their mind. Who got a 80 or a gram?
Wake and bake.
Wake and bake. All they could think about. They didn't even want no food. Like, damn, brother, you ain't even washed your face yet. You ain't washed your face. Let me get some smoke in me. And that's how we live and that's how a lot of brothers live their life, man. And that's how you know oppression is real. Because who wake up in the morning and the first thing they think about is getting high? It's an oppressed person. It's an oppressed person, man. You got to fight with your girl. You got to fight with what's going on. It's a fight every step of the way for brothers and sisters in this kingdom, man. It's a fight every step of the way, man. And it's a fight that neither one of us is winning, and we don't, for some reason, outside of the well, I can't say for some reason, but of course, outside of the UPK, they don't understand that. And they think we crazy when we sit down. You know how many brothers and sisters I done sat down and talked to and actually think what I'm saying is crazy when I'm saying a man and a woman should work together? Right. They think that's crazy talk. That's crazy to them. They never heard of such nonsense. I'm like, man, y'all got to. It's some women I can't even. I just stopped talking to. Like, okay, it's no. We can't have a further conversation because have fun. You're single now. You're gonna be single later. Just have fun. All you think a man is for, they don't want a man. They want a goddamn servant. Right. They want somebody to sit around and serve them all day. That's not how it works. We don't serve them all day, man. It's a work together thing for sure, man. It's like it's tab it off to the side, but let me get this back ship right. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship the server and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, more than the creator, man. And that's what ended up happening, man. We ended up serving our oppressor more than we served the Most High. We ended up serving his way of life more than we served the way the Most High wanted us to do. Okay? And how do we know that's true? Think about the things in our mindset as actually like we kind of never left the topic. Now that I'm thinking about it, we was right on topic when we talked about the women and the men. Think about how we, instead of us coming together, we battle each other. We fight one another. She fighting to get her hair and nails done and her eyelashes. That's what she's trying to get out of brother, and the brother just trying to get some box out of her. Nobody is serious about really loving and taking care of one another, man. And that comes directly from your oppressor. If you did not worship him, that wouldn't happen, because in worshiping him, this is the thing that he would want. Now, put that up against what the Most High would want. The Most High would want us to do what? Be together as one. Be together as one. So the oppressor wants us fighting one another, and the Most High wants us to do what? Now, when I say the oppressor wants us fighting against each other, I'm not talking about something small. This is one of the things that at one point was on the FBI target list, like the black family. It had to be destroyed. So I'm not just talking about something that's made up, that I just think. No, this is what they sat down at a table and said, you know what? The black family must be destroyed because we don't want the rise of a black Messiah. Everybody knows that. I don't really have to look that up. Do y'all need me to look it up? I mean, come on. Everybody knows that. It's been out in the open for 20 years now. For 20 years, that's been out in the open. Okay? So if you serving your oppressor, guess what you're doing? You having that fight. But if you serving the Most High, you're doing something different. Y'all doing what? Y'all coming together as one, man. And y'all building that family. Y'all loving each other, man. I ain't saying it's always gonna be puppy dogs and roses and things of that nature. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when you get with that woman, and when you lay with that woman, man, you're gonna be with that woman forever. And look at our community, man. That is something that is needed. That's something that is needed, man. Like, and one of the heaviest things is, if you look at blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, if you look at our everyday life, if you look in an area and you see what we destroyed, it's always because it's something that we doing that's not lining up with the Most High told us to do. So the scriptures always is the answer. The scriptures always is the answer. It's not a point in time where we can find where we done something where the scriptures was not the answer. Or where we failed at something, Salakia, where the scriptures wasn't the answer to correct it. It's always been like that. Think about the crack epidemic. The crack epidemic of the 80s, man. Think how many families that got destroyed behind that, man. Think about how many families got destroyed by that. And think about how easy it was because of integration. So we let them come in, so now they come in, and then they did what? Figured out a way to destroy us. Think about what the Native American Indians did. Native American Indians let the oppressor come in, and then he did what? Figure out a way to destroy him. But had we never done that, guess what? He never would have been able to get in to do such a thing. He fed us drugs to help fight his war in Iran. Gave us crack and locked us in jail for selling crack. And he was the main distributor of cocaine. He was the #1 distributor of it. He's the #1 distributor here. We know this because we don't have no planes to get the stuff over here. We don't have planes and poppy fields and coca fields, and we don't have none. We've never had none of that stuff, man. And how was all that able to happen? Because of disobedience. The Most High said, separate from these people, man. And instead of separation, what do, man? What have we been taught? Everybody needs to come together and be in one and just love? Why does the UPK preach this hate of separation? Because you have destroyed us. So it's not hate. Look at what's been done to us. Why wouldn't we want to separate, man? We should definitely, it's nothing better. Bro, can you hit that heat slocky? The water, please. Appreciate that. There's nothing more we should want to do than separate. But because we do what? We worship our oppressor. Next thing you know, because we worship him, we celebrating what just passed? Valentine's Day. And what was the stupid thing? Fat Tuesday? Fat Tuesday. I'm watching First Take today. I'm watching, which I honestly, I don't really like First Take because of Stephen A. Smith. I don't really like First Take because of him. Me and my brother was laughing one day talking about it's just hard. It's hard to coon harder than that, brother, right there. It's hard to coon harder than him. I don't like watching First Take. But I was watching and I seen one of the news people had the dirt on his forehead, and the first thing I did, I wasn't thinking about Ash Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever they call that stuff. I wasn't thinking about it, and then I realized that that's why he had the dirt on his head. I'm like, damn, because Hadar brought that on the class last night, so I'm looking at it and I'm like, dang, this dude got the ash on his head. I'm like, that is stupid. Right. I'm like, this dude is dumb. Yeah, one of the casters, I don't know the dude's name that had it, but he had the dirt on his head, and I said, good night. Why would you put dirt on your forehead? What could that possibly mean? For one, if you're saying there's something in the Bible, it's something that got to do with the Most High, there's nowhere in the Bible to do any let's stop this, man. Let's stop this, okay? But that's what happened when you worship the creature more than the creator. You start taking on their philosophies and the things that they do and like and love and all that old kind of stuff. You start taking on those things, man. Think about our people in slavery, right? You enslaved, getting done all kind of ways, and then on the November 24th, I guess that's Thanksgiving, November 24th, your oppressor celebrating. You ain't outside celebrating Thanksgiving, but now you free. You celebrate Thanksgiving like ain't no tomorrow. I would never want to celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, hell no. Let me get the hell away from Thanksgiving. Because it reminds me of my oppressor. And I'm free and I don't have to do this no more? Hell no. I ain't doing that stuff no more. Not me. But because you worship the oppressor, because you worship him, you'll celebrate Thanksgiving and Cupid, which Cupid don't make no sense. It's just some naked baby flying around with an arrow. Right. Like, who in the hell? Only your oppressor would think of some nonsense like that. Only your oppressor would think of some nonsense like that. Okay, from here, let's get Psalms Psalms 55 and 21. That's what I want. Yeah. And 21. All right. Slocky, let me check right quick and see if I got any questions online. Okay, no questions. Good. I'm gonna check Facebook right quick, and I'll be right with y'all. Bear with me. second, y'all. Bear with it, brother. Okay. No questions there. So I'll give them a check here. No questions there. All right. Let's get it, y'all. We at where we at? Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, man. Meaning everything, like, okay, let me just hop back to this civil rights thing, right? It sounded so good when they were saying it. Like, I see what y'all going through, man. Y'all suffering, we killing y'all, I understand. Maybe it's a good idea that we just come together. We should just come together. We should just come together and join hand in hand, and y'all could come, and guess what? Y'all don't have to be in poverty. Y'all could come. We'll give you jobs. We'll give you jobs, and we'll take care of you, and we'll make sure everything is okay for you. We'll do all of that for you. We'll give you voting rights. You can vote. You can vote for who you want to come into to office. Such and such and so. He ain't from he not for Governor Wallace. Governor Wallace, he's not for black people. He wants separation. He doesn't want integration. Y'all don't have to vote for it. Don't vote for him. Don't vote for Nixon. Vote for Kennedy. Right. Vote for Kennedy, man. Y'all should vote for him because he'll be the president for y'all. Vote for Kennedy. That's what y'all do, man. It all sounds good. It's great when you're talking about it and you don't know no better. Go ahead.
You can go ahead, sweet nothings.
Yeah, they whisper those sweet nothings in your ear, man. You go ahead, you vote. Well, we ain't stopped voting. Did we stop voting anytime? No, we've been voting since then, haven't we?
Okay.
Don't look like it got better than me.
Okay.
It does not look like it got better than me. We've been voting. We've been asking for this and asking for that. But what, something, since we just talking about that, Salaki, this has always mind-boggled me, right? Like, when we was building our individual black cities, I just like to say Black Wall Street because that's just like the most popular one. We didn't do that through voting. We didn't vote for a president because we couldn't vote.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we didn't use that as an avenue to say this can fix the problem. We just stayed away from it. Black Wall Street didn't get destroyed till they came down and started bothering us. We was away from them, not bothering them, minding our own business. Everything was black. Everything. The stores, the doctors, the hospital, everything black.
Right.
So it always mind-boggled me to try to understand how did they think voting was actually going to help. Because when the oppressor was putting it to them, it sounded good. It sounded like we was making progress. Like this is going to make the progress. But it seemed like rational thinking would have said, nah, I'm not about to trust y'all. I'm not about to trust y'all. It seemed like rational thinking would have kicked in at some point. But when you lust after your oppressor woman, and anything that'll get you closer to her, it all sounds good. And you will do whatever it takes to get to it.
Sir, what you saying is so heavy. Martin Luther King did whatever it takes to get to that white woman. He don't care if he got spat on. bricks, dogs. He did whatever.
He did whatever to get to that, man. That's unbelievable. She must be an amazing woman. Like, good night. All them sisters, man. And all he cared about was the oppressor woman. That's insane, man. And actually, as we talk about it today, as it came out, but to sit here today and look back then and say nobody knew about that, that's insane. That's crazy talk. Everybody knew.
Right.
Everybody knew, man. And they still followed behind that garbage, man. And that's why the UPK is so important, man. And that's how you know the Lord raised the UPK up, man. Because we would have never stood for that garbage in here, man. Never stood for that kind of garbage in here. We would have never allowed the oppressor to come in and trick us like that. Because we never would have joined to them. We know better.
Right.
And they knew better then, because you look at what they're doing to you. And common sense, why would I want to join that? But it just sounds good. Like, we can make some changes. We can change the law. We can change the law, man. You get y'all, they murder y'all like this, we would say they violating y'all civil rights. But what does it do? But they forget the very people that's killing you is the judge sitting there judging you, sitting there judging the case. He wants you dead. He's glad they killing you. He want them to kill more of you. Okay? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. War was in his heart, man. All that stuff sounds good, but it's all just an attack to do what? To destroy us. We don't understand that. I think General Muhammad made a great point. He said, we're mouses and they snakes. We don't understand what it is they doing. It just sounds so great to us. It looks so good. It looks so promising. Like, yeah, finally we'll have some influence of the laws here. Finally, we can drink. Think about this, man. You gave up everything to drink from the same water fountain as white people. As oppressive people. Right. You gave up everything to be able to drink from the same water fountain and use the same restroom as your oppressor. What in the hell is your problem? Because out of everything that went on, that's the only thing that actually changed. Now we can drink from the same water fountain and use the same restroom. Because guess what happened as we move into their so-called communities? They move out further. So we wasn't coming together, we move in, they move out.
Right.
So at no point was it really coming together. I don't know what I can say. You was an N-word then, you an N-word now. Nothing's changed. When Trump got in office, what did they say? The silent majority. The silent majority pushed Trump in office. It's just a bunch of people that hate us just sitting there being silent, and then Trump was their guy, and then they came out the woodworks. They came out the woodworks. You ain't even know they exist. And this is mind-boggling to me. You ever see the brother or sister that just can't believe that racism still exists? They like, I'm laughing you. They so shocked that racism still exists. They can't believe it. It's like, where in the hell have you been? Where in the hell have you been your entire life? Your entire life. You never seen it. I heard a brother say, when the police was murdering black people like that, I heard him say, man, it's just hard for police to do their job now because of all of it.
All right.
What in the... It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And that's because his words, the things he say is so smooth and it sounds so great. And everybody is just supposed to be one, and nobody thinks about hatred. It's not hatred when we get murdered in the street. That's not hatred. Go ahead.
You talking about black on black crime or the police brutality?
Police. When the police murder us, it's not hatred. When white police murder us, that's not hatred or racism or none of that. It's not hatred at all. Even though, like we always say, black police don't murder white people like that. I mean, Salaki, oppressor people like that. That don't happen. That is a rarity that you see something like that. And when it does happen, they are trying to find every reason to fire that officer, lock him up, and anything else they can do to him. He can't say, "Oh, I thought this was my apartment."
Right.
He can't say that.
Right.
He can't do that. He can't say that. It's a mistake. Nah, they ain't gonna try to hear that, brother. You was about to get 30 years in prison.
Ooh. So this one that really killed me is that not all of them.
Kind.
I'm like, wow. Not all of them. It's not bad.
Kind. And this be my response to that. I'll be like, okay, go pick the ones that ain't. Show them to me.
Please.
Yeah, go pick them out. Oh, you can't? Oh, okay then. That should let you know something. Shut your mouth.
Man, Stockholm syndrome is so heavy, sir. It's like they can put us all in one category, but we are so dumbfounded. We can't put them in all in one category as a nation, as people.
We don't look at them like that, and that's just another form of what we were saying in Romans the 1st chapter, because we worship them. You know what I mean? So with them, we'll just look at that individual and we'll just say that's just that one. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of our people identify with think about this. When they identify Christ being white, right? Christ being the oppressor, right? So they identify, that's why they always feel so sympathetic for him. You see, that's why they be so quick to forgive. Because that image inside their head. Not only that, think about this. When we was young, right, we ain't know about the truth. How many times you want to be Superman or Batman or something like, you know what I mean, when you playing as a kid? You know what I mean? So we always, it's like a standard that we hold to them. And giving our love and looking at them as being so powerful and so great and things of that nature, that's why we're always able to individualize them. But you know what it also do? It make us look at ourselves like we ain't S. Right. You know what I mean? We look at ourselves and we say, that no good N-word over there. N-words ain't no good. I was talking to a brother. And he was like, man, I'm not dealing with N-words. I ain't dealing with them. No. I ain't hiring no N-words. You don't want no N-words working for him or nothing. Right. Unless he said he'll hire a alternative lifestyle. He'll do that. Wow. He'll hire one of them because he said they gonna work. He said they gonna work. I said, said, this dude is nuts. And the brother, a Moabite brother too. He's a Moabite brother that I'll be talking to, and I'm just like, brother. Okay, brother. It ain't no sweat, man. Do your thing. Me personally, that's for me in my house. That's for me in my house. Go ahead, bro.
Just piggyback on what you're saying, like, as far as like us, Salaki, as far as the oppressor promoting us on social media, that's all you see, sir. N-word this, N-word that, and it could be the smallest thing. And the meme, do you know what the meme is, sir? It could be the smallest meme as far as like relationships, getting like, yeah, don't date it. They got us as a emoji now, as a ninja. They got us as a ninja for us to not be called that. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is they promote us so much and frowned on. I'm like, that's all you see. You don't see no West Indian getting talked about being in a relationship or oppressor. They really would talk about, yeah, we need to go join the swirly side. That's what they would say, swirl side.
Because that's the first thing the oppressor do is he attack. Do what? See, people don't understand. This is warfare. People don't understand that we are in a war. We are in a war with our oppressor at every aspect of our life. There's not one aspect that he's not attacking. So the first thing he's doing is attacking our character. See, if he could tear you down, so now when he murder you in the street, people don't feel that sympathy like they do for him because he's Jesus.
Right. Ooh.
And you are no good ninja.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You are no good ninja. So people don't feel the same way. That's why something like Black Lives Matter was able to slip in like that. You see what I'm saying? They can just slip in nonsense like that. Something that they know, that they backing and they really in control of, so they know it ain't about us. They know it. But so many of our people, because they not in here where they should be, they get tricked by that nonsense. And then you still got our brothers and sisters walking around supporting that and donate to that when they done took all the money and divided it amongst themselves. Black Lives Matter took all that money that was donated to them and divided it amongst themselves. Their brother, their cousin, they this, they that, cousin on security, brother on security. They just took the money and just divided it amongst themselves, man. That's all they did. It looked good. Their words were smoother than butter. And then, of course, there was the oppressor behind it supporting it. So he knew it wasn't about nothing, but it's just something that riled us up, but it riled us up with no result. No result. Nothing really changed. Black men still getting shot down in the streets by police. So it didn't change anything. In fact, what it did was made it worse. It made it worse, man. Because what did you start seeing? Well, white lives matter too. It's like it. Oppressor lives matter too. Right. It just riled them up more. For what? For nothing. Because it did nothing for us. It did nothing. Nobody can tell me one thing that actually did. Not one thing. Go.
So, oh man, so oh man, it's so heavy because it kind of reminds you of what Martin Luther King was doing, just going protesting and nothing happens.
Nothing.
I'm surprised they didn't let the dogs out because the police was out there, wasn't they, sir?
Kind. And they didn't let the dog out because it was doing exactly what the oppressor wanted it to do. It just kept them. It was words. It was words that was smoother than butter. It kept them occupied. It was hypnotizing them. It was sounding so good. He's such a powerful, great speaker, and it just sounded great, but it did nothing. Think about this. March on Washington, right? Since we just talked about Martin Luther King, we got the March on Washington, right? Friday March on Washington. Everybody, think about all the black people that sold their houses, their businesses, and things of that nature. So we had houses and businesses. We sold all that to go march on Washington for jobs. So you own your own business. You're going to sell your business to go work for the oppressor. And then when the speech was over, you got nothing and you got nowhere to go.
Right.
The words be smooth. This stuff be sounding good, man. This is why you got your oppressor, man. This dude, good night. But war is in his heart. Think about how that destroyed. Think about now, he walk off the stage, the speech over, and y'all just looking around at each other. For a minute, for about 10 minutes, y'all cheering. Right? Y'all going crazy. Yeah, this, that, and the third. Yeah. Then the 10 minutes of cheering is over, and y'all looking at each other like, what the fuck are we about? What is we about to do now?
Right.
I done sold my house and my business. I ain't got nowhere to go back to right there. I'm just here. And you got 5,000, 100,000 black people there in that same predicament. Thus, Washington is what? Chocolate City. Nobody had nowhere to go. It was over. It was done. You sold everything. Nowhere to, and you sold your business to go work for your oppressor. You was tricked into doing something like that. Didn't want to use the word dumb, not that. But that really was dumb. Like, it just was. But I'm not calling them dumb. I'm just saying that was dumb. Yeah. But again, that's the difference between worshiping the oppressor and worshiping the Most High. Because you worship the oppressor, you will allow, he'll trick you into something like that, to doing something silly like that. And what's heavy is he used the Christian church to do it. Because that's how we transferred all our information, and that's how we had our gatherings and organized through the churches. But nobody ever holds them responsible for what our communities look like today. And it's solely their fault. Everything that's wrong inside of blacks and Hispanic communities is Christian churches' fault. It's their fault. And nobody holds them responsible for it. It's their fault. They led the civil rights movement. They're where we went to for our moral guidance and how to conduct ourselves and the things we should do and the things we shouldn't do. We went to them for it, and they led us into this mess, and nobody holds them accountable for that. Nobody looks at that and says, oh, no, you know what? They were wrong, and they dropped the ball. They quick to tell us we don't know what the F we talking about. Mm-hmm. They quick to tell us that. They quick to say that to us, or tell us, or cuss us out, scream and fight at us, and ask us what the H is wrong, what the hell is wrong with us. We ain't nothing but a bunch of hateful Negroes and all of that, but they'll never say anything to them about this mess that they done led us into. They'll never do it. They will never even dream of doing such a thing, because the Christian church allows them to do whatever it is that they want to do. It allows them to feed their lust. And it's okay to do it. You can be as disgusting as you want to be. And know it, and you don't have to be accountable for none of it because you really didn't want to do it. Your heart doesn't want you to do it, but you just did it anyway. You just did it anyway. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Even though all of this stuff, the oppressor, and this what we don't understand. The oppressor thinks 5, 10, 20 years. He's like, okay, in 20 years it'll be like this. In 10 years it'll be like this. So his war strategy, even though it didn't affect it, have an immediate effect, we look 50 years later, 60 years later, and look at our condition. And look at our condition. Truth be told, blacks and Hispanics, we know voting don't change nothing. The truth be told, we know that. We know it doesn't change anything, nor does it mean anything. We know that. Maybe when you 18 or something like that, 18, 21, and you brought up in the world, you might think voting can change something, but once you hit about 30-ish, 25-ish, you know voting ain't changing nothing for real. Because you know it never has. Think about, I remember Bill Clinton was running for president, man. Yeah, and everybody black loved him because he said he smoked some weed. Oh wow. Think about that for a minute. You loved him because he said he hit it, but he didn't inhale.
Wow.
Oh my God, man. This is ridiculous, man. And Bill Clinton was a drug kingpin at Arkansas. Like we have to stop, man. This stuff is silly and ridiculous and out of control, all at the same time. All at the same time. It sounds good. It was funny. We like, yeah, we kind of made him an honorary brother or something. Because he said he hit some endo and didn't inhale it, man. That stuff be sounding good and it's funny and different things of that nature, but all the drugs that he put into the community in Arkansas, like, he destroyed it. War is in his heart. His word is soft as oil, but swords is drawn. But did we need that? No, they traded blankets with the Native American Indians and put smallpox in their blanket. Like, at what point do we look at what's happening and what is going on and say, you know what, enough is enough? Like, let's say the UPK wasn't on every street corner teaching, right? Can't we just look at what's been done and say, well, God damn, something is not right here? Can't we just look at what's been done and say, well, maybe us coming together is not such a good idea like I thought it was. We made a mistake on that. Nah, it ain't gonna happen because too many people is getting, too many of our leaders make their living off hoeing us out. They pimping black people. And because we love to get high, we love shrimp, crab, and lobster, our oppressor just feed us everything we love that keeps us sinning. He give us everything we love. We love to sin. The Most High said we wise to do evil. We wise to do evil, man. We wake up and create ways to be more sinful. We don't wake up and think of ways to serve the Lord. We don't do that and stay away from sin. I mean, of course, in the UPK, that's what we do all day, every day.
That's right.
We do that all day, every day. I know something go wrong, at least whether I think it's wrong, you know, I'll be like, man, damn, what did I do? Did I mess up here? I was like, oh no. I got to retract everything. Let me correct, because I want to correct whatever it was I done wrong. I want to correct that right then and there. I ain't playing no games. I'm doing everything I can not to sin. Best believe that.
That's right.
But your leadership, your Christian pastor, he teaching you how to sin. Because it's profitable to him that you sin. It's profitable to him. That's what he wants. He wants your money. And the more you sin, and here goes crazy. You know you sinning. So what you do is you take the money and you drop it in the bucket and hope that make amends for your sin. You hope the money make amends for your sin. So you study dropping all your money in the bucket thinking that will make amends for your sin. No, it's not. And that's why Most High still puts people to death. Because it doesn't make amends for your sin. But your Christian pastor will have you thinking what? It does. When it does not. It don't make amends for your sin. You have to stop sinning. It's not that hard of a thing to do. You can start off small. You could just start off with stop eating shrimp, stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You can start off with the smallest thing and build off of that. But you have to start somewhere. You think because you go get in some, I know a lot of y'all get caught up in fake Israelite groups. And y'all know what they doing in there ain't right. They know what, some of them, they gotta know, because them fake Israelite groups are going too far sometimes, man. Go ahead, Rocky.
Sorry if I could, man. This is so heavy. These brothers that are fans of the Israelites that don't see our camp, but see all the other camps like IOC, the Purple, all of them, all the ones that you could name, they just look at what they are still they still go off their own heart, sir, because it still sound good. Because if they hear something that contradict of what they doing in reality, they be like, oh no, I gotta go to another group.
They go to another group. That's exactly what they do.
They still lustful, sir.
Yeah, they go to the group that allow them to do what it is that they want to do.
What they want to hear.
And if you notice, it's an Israelite group for whatever somebody. If you love your oppressor, it's an Israelite group that let the oppressor stand next to you. If you like alternative lifestyle, it's an Israelite group. It's an Israelite group for whatever lust they have. Whatever it is they want, it's a fake Israelite group for that thing, man. It's crazy, man. They don't want to stop sinning. They love they sin. They love it. They love it to death, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to love it to death, and the Most High is going to put them to death. I don't want to say I was caught up, but like before I understood the truth, like I understood it before I came into the UPK, I used to just watch all Israelite groups. I just thought, It's all the same. It's all. But I ain't gonna lie. When I used to watch certain ones, I used to be looking at them like, why do this dude just look gay to me? Like what? it just kept giving me like this dude was giving off like gay vibes. I'm like, am I tripping? Because I thought it was me because I was still in the world, doing worldly things. I'm like, man, I gotta be tripping, man. Right. But this dude is just giving me gay. But I'm like, God, dog, he breaking the Bible down so good, so it can't be him. It got to be me. It's him. He's gay. That was the problem. He was gay, and he's teaching his people whatever he teaching them. They just got a whole gay movement going on. They might as well put a rainbow up.
Right.
they got everything but the rainbow going on. But I honestly used to think it was me. It was not me. It was 100% him. And I just didn't understand it. I just didn't know no better. But I never joined their group. And then, remember I went to their class and I was like, is everybody in? They look so gay. It was disgusting. I was like, man, I tried to go again. I went one more time just to, it's me. I was like, it just ain't for me. I choose me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go back. It was just too much for me. I can't be around it just wasn't for me. But I tell you what, I came here, I said, man, whoo! And here I said, good night. This me right here. Right. This is for me right here. This is where I belong. I ain't belong over there. Right. I couldn't fit in with them. That wasn't about to happen. Here, oh man, I feel like a piece of the puzzle. Like, where has this been all my life? That's right. Where has this been? I couldn't do that over there. Oh no, that wasn't right, man. I'm telling you, and I ain't trying to. I seen it, so I know what ain't right. That ain't right. I was there. I seen it. I couldn't go back the third time. I tell you that it was over. But then here, Lord, man, that's why I be thinking. That's why I really be thanking the Most High for Commander General Yohanan, man, and holding His truth, man. When I say that, I mean it from the core of my heart, man. From the core, because I never would have been. I couldn't have done it. I just couldn't. Them fake Israelite groups, I couldn't have done it. We don't mesh together like that. I can't do it, man. I wouldn't have been able to go somewhere else where they let the oppressor in. That wouldn't have set with me, because then what the hell are we doing? We might as well be in Christian churches. Right. We might as well be in Christian church. We might as well, what are we leaving that for? We might as well keep doing that. I can't do it, man. Cannot do it. So let me try to get back. Let's get Colossians 2 and 8. Colossians 2 and 8. Try to get this in before the time wear down. We got us 8:47. Colossians 2 and 8, and it reads, beware, lest any man spoil you through through philosophy and vain deceit. And that's what has happened to us, man. We've been spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. The word vain, look that word vain up. And that was a bunch of nothingness. We've been fooled by a bunch of nothingness. We got fooled. We got fooled. The whole civil rights movement was about drinking from the same water fountain. And we got fooled and thought we was really doing something. And we was doing nothing but being allowed to drink from the same water fountain and not have to stick our head in the laughing barrel. You got that, Rock? Yeah.
Oh, God. Vain, having or showing an exceedingly high opinion of one's appearance, abilities, or worth. Similar is conceited, narcissistic, self-loving.
Vain deceit, man. Night, man. You think you about to be free and you think you about to make it, and the only thing you get is to drink from the same water fountain. That's it. That's all you get. All this stuff that is promised. All this stuff that you supposed to get. Hold on one second. All the stuff that you supposed to get. Everything that was promised to you, and the only thing you got was to be able to use the same bathroom and work for the oppressor and build his kingdom up. Go ahead, Rock, yeah. It's disgusting.
Just to piggyback, sir, they used to have a movie. I can't think of the movie on top of my head, but I think it was a football movie, and it had a little bit of racism in it. I never understood that it was an oppressor and a brother, and it was clearly a oppressor dining in spot. Mm-hmm. The brother still decided to go in trying to get a cheeseburger. I'm like, you crazy? Like, is that burger really that worth it to get that from the oppressor?
Hey, Kyle, that's all and that's what else they got. They got to go eat at their restaurants and make their restaurants profitable while your restaurants crumble.
Right.
This is vain deceit.
Spit in burger and everything.
You eat a spit burger that they done wiped your hamburger all across the floor. You crunching on something. You like, damn, that pepper crunchy. No, that's dirt, nigga. They done wiped your burger all across the floor. Your oppressor, he probably stuck it in his drawers or some nonsense like that, and you eating it. Come on, man. To this day, it's certain restaurants. If it just look like that, I won't go in it. If it's too many oppressor people in there, I don't go in a certain restaurant. I'm good on that. You just go everywhere and eat and all of that, man. Because you can't, man. It's not what people think. I don't understand. And I'll never understand brothers and sisters who just think it's all good and everything is okay. And there's too many of us, man, and that is part of the problem. We don't have enough compassion for what one another, what we go through as a people. We don't sympathize with one another, man. We sympathize with the oppressor more than we sympathize with each other. And we so busy giving love to him that we don't have any love for ourselves. Any. With that, I'm gonna close the class. Salam.